It's Monday here in Vancouver. It is day 49 of the 75 challenge, and it's me, Mark D. And I've been thinking a little bit about talking about self-leadership and how I approach it and why I talk about it so much, why it's my passion in coaching, and why I specifically choose new and evolving leaders to be the folks that I focus on when I do coaching for small companies or even just for individuals. One of the reasons is I employ a technique called the Being at Full Potential Human Assessment, and it's a assessment model that does an evaluation of over 25 different personal characteristics which are identified by how much you're expressing them in your life. And the indicator about those expressions allow you to understand where you can adjust your approach to life, and while you're doing that, expanding your consciousness and the way you're living consciously, or as it's framed in the test, in the assessment itself, being in your full potential. So being in the human sense, a being. Now, self-leadership can be applied to any aspect of your life, and that includes relationships, willpower, parenting, just any kind of accomplishment or objective you might have, or in the moment situations when it comes to having discussions, debates, arguments, making choices that are aligned with your vision. There's so many different ways to apply this. And before I kind of understood the journey of personal consciousness in relation to these subjects, I was in a bit of a challenge and a battle in the corporate world, not understanding why it felt so unaligned and not properly educated or mentor for myself. I often find myself in conflicts that didn't necessarily need to be happening. So what I found was that because often leadership is not taught to new supervisors, gotta cross the road here before it ends, you find yourself going through the motions of being both a manager or supervisor of something, but also learning about the bureaucratic churn style, not understanding how business works, not understanding how the office works, especially when you're frontline or new to the process. So going through that journey without the guidance of self-leadership really affected me. And as I said, you can apply this to many different aspects of your life. I'm learning that now as a father and a partner. And in my personal journey, I found there's 3 things that can really help you nail down and identify what's going on for you, and allows you to execute personal self-leadership in each moment. So, you've heard me talk about STIGs: strength, truth, integrity, growth, stability. So often it starts with the ability to have the constitution or fortitude to be honest with yourself. So there's the aspect of strength there in your character, and I don't mean strong-headed or bullheaded. I've always been that, but I actually mean the strength to be honest with yourself, the strength to reflect properly. And that's actually the first step. You have to be willing to take that notice. You have to be willing to reflect. You need to be able to stop yourself in a moment where you may not be acting in line with your own leadership style. So that's the first one, is having that constitution, having that foundation. And it takes work. It's not always a natural thing for people. The second thing is recognizing when you're veering off your path, whether it's being triggered in something, or it's even having a conversation that isn't aligned with you, acting in a way that you're not really in line with. You might slip off of the track for a while. So this is about maybe you're gossiping and you know the gossip's wrong. And that's the second aspect, is being aware, being able to recognize those moments. And the third activity or ability is actually the full-on ability to shift tracks. So sometimes you recognize it's happening. You know, maybe you're fighting with your partner and you know the fight's stupid, but it's actually the ability to change tracks. So when you do that, that allows you to actually implement anything else you've learned. So you can learn all the leadership skills you want. You can learn the 10 best steps to do whatever. You can learn, different styles of different famous leaders, but unless you have the ability to change tracks and implement them in that moment, you're not going to be able to fall in line with your own self-leadership. Those are my 3 tips today. That's what I've been learning in my journey, in every position I've ever been in, every relationship I've been in, reflecting on those when I wasn't even sure about it, and now I am sure in some of them. So that's where I'm at, and I wanted to share that with you today. I'm gonna finish off my first walk here on my lunch, and I will see you soon.